That's how you feel, brother?
That was cool, man.
Yes,
That was
sir.
so much fun. Greetings, everybody. Nick D Virgilio here at Sweetwater's video studio, hanging out with the great Daru Jones. Welcome, man.
Hanging out with the great Nick D.
Oh, it is a pleasure to have you here, dude. It's really cool.
Thank you.
What we're doing here today is something a little different. I have a piece of music about a minute long that Daru hasn't heard before, and we're going to check out this piece of music just to see how you would interpret it listening to something for the first time. Like if you went into a studio session, you didn't know the artist you were playing for, they play you something, how you would come up with a drum part.
Wow.
And let's just kind of have some fun with it and see what happens.
Cool. Actually, that's kind of like how I like to do it. I don't really like to hear, depends on the session, but for the most part, I don't want to hear the track until I get in the studio, because I feel like if I hear the track before I get in the studio, it's going to give me a preconceived what to play.
Right.
And I kind of like to be, think, create on the spot. Because
Cool.
I think those first couple vibes that I do is going to be creatively, something hopefully special.
Nice. All right, let's get into it.
Cool. Let's do it.
That was so cool.
That was
First
it?
time, and yeah, it's just a short little thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just to get started.
I know. Yeah, it's not the length of a full song, just to keep the people watching the video engaged here. But man, you played some really cool, interesting things. Just hearing that for the very first time, you just went for it, and it sounded great. What kind of inspiration are you getting from just hearing that music?
Well, like they say, for me, I've been taught the music tells you what to play.
Okay.
If you're a good listener, the music tells you what to play. So I was just listening to like the different segments and what jumped out to me, and I just try to highlight whatever I'm thinking, like if like the higher whatever the melody was.
Right.
And then I was trying to look to play something to complement that melody.
Sounds good.
So that was my concept behind my ideas, what I played on that vibe.
Nice. Want to do it again?
We can.
Let's do it again. I love it, man. The pocket is so deep instantly, which is such a cool thing to hear. It really sits nice.
I appreciate it.
I mean, only hearing it for a couple times through.
George Clinton and those guys, they always talking about playing on a one.
Sure.
So I'm listening for that one and just making sure when I come back around, the next one is just like boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
that's
it
what
makes
the
a big
people is
difference.
feeling, and that's what people dance to.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to compliment and meet your groove halfway because we got the platinum producer right here, you know what I'm saying?
Almost. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
The joint is dope, so I'm just trying to compliment and enhance and add the extra layer of oomph.
Nice. Now you just finished not too long ago doing a couple of new Jack White records, right? You were telling me as we were walking down the hall.
Yes.
So how does that work when you go into the studio with somebody as big as Jack White making a record for him?
That's a good question, and I know a lot of things, you know, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but I just like the fact that Jack, you know, allows everybody to be creative and bring because he's a drummer.
Sure.
So that puts a lot of pressure on me because he knows what's good.
Right.
So I'm just thankful because I feel like he brought me in because he felt like he wanted me to bring my identity to what
Sure.
he does, which is great. So yeah, not to give away too many secrets, but you know, if sometimes I'm just like hearing them play something and I'm just jamming. You know, sometimes when you get on the kit, you playing rudiments and you just kind of fumbling around.
Yeah.
And sometimes Jack will hear my fumble around and be like, yo, let's make something out of that.
Okay.
So that's just, you know, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, that's been some of the great advantages with working with him. Because he will highlight for each different band member, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He may, if the drummer's doing something or the keyboard or is the bass player's doing something cool, you know, he will, you know, he's like producing it. He's like, okay, yeah, we can add that in. So
Nice.
That's what I like about, you know, working with him for the most part.
So I totally appreciate everything you're saying right there. So what would you tell a young drummer who wants to do sessions in a band for the first time, going into the studio, you know, hearing things for the first time? What kind of advice would you give to a player like that wants to get into this world?
You're not the boss. You know, you want to make sure you're giving your boss, you know, what they're looking for. It's cool if you have a lot of ideals, and we're all artists.
Sure.
Whether you want to, you know, think like that or not, we're artists and we all have creativity. So, yeah, just try to meet whoever you're working with halfway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You definitely want to give them what they want, but you also want them to be like, okay, this guy's got some good ideas too. So you don't want to feel like you're just a computer or a robot.
Sure.
I think that adds a little bit more value to you if you bring something unique in your own idea versus relying on somebody else to tell you what to play, if that makes any sense.
That totally does. Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, just and then find ways where you can kind of, you know, have your identity, because Nashville is like, you know, they have a lot of sessions. There's a lot of people that go like, it's like 9 to 5. They go to record that thing. It's a certain grooves they play for the country, like the train beat.
Sure.
But it's like, okay, how many times can you hear a train beat on a record?
Right.
Try to think of ways, how can you flip what's already been done?
Sure.
That's what I like to do. And I think once you do that, you may put yourself in a position because you're going to bring something a little bit different to the table. That way, they're like, man, we know if we get this certain guy, he's going to do that thing. But if you got an extra little flair, you may get some extra work.
Nice. That's killer advice. Let's do it one more time and lock into a certain part. Kind of where would you take it?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
I love it. Yeah, well, I mean, the more you hear something, the more comfortable you get with it, right? And you kind of
Yes.
lock into certain things. So it sounds so great to hear you do this
Thank you.
over a little piece of music that I wrote. How cool is
It's
that?
killing, man.
Can I hire you to play on more drum tracks? man?
Bam. I need to put this on my album.
Yes.
2 points.
Easy. Got it.
Yeah, but you know, just hearing your approach, it could definitely be approached in different type of genre
Sure.
facets. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I went for more like a I don't know if there's a Latin rock, but you know, I just went more towards the opposite beat, but it could work.
And there's no vocals here either. If there was a singer on top of it, you might approach it a little bit differently too, I would imagine, yeah?
But it's really cool because it got like a little Latin, it got like a little Latin vibe on it,
Right.
but it's still funky. It can be approached various ways, so I think this is a really good track.
Thank you
to
very much,
demo on
appreciate
top
that.
of. No problem.
Let's stay in the low frequency world here. The reason you came up here to Sweetwater today is to show off your Neo Black Low Freak sub mic.
Oh, is that why we're here? Is that why we're here?
Did I say it correctly? Did I get all the words in the right order? Woohoo! It's a great piece. It's a sub mic in front of your kit there. And the guys at Solomon and Henry made a really great product. So tell us about your signature sub mic.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is my second model. So I just want to say something. I'm very thankful and honored to be one of Henry's first artists on the roster. Like, we talking 5+ years. I thought it was 5 years, but it's 6 years now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool because I play smaller drums sometimes.
Right.
Obviously, when I'm playing rock and roll with Jack, to follow the suit of what I saw other rock and roll guys, they all play big gears. So I was like, that's the way to go. I want a big size. But for the most part, I've used a smaller kick drum. So I was looking for something to give me the extra, you know, bottom end.
Sure.
And like I mentioned earlier when I was doing a little demo, like a lot of times when I'm replicating production from the hip hop producers, when I'm playing with rappers, they all like add an extra low end, like a 909 or 808 sound on top of the sample to give it that low. So it's like, it's cool that now we don't need those MPCs. Now we have some acoustic that we can add, and I feel like the Low Freak, it adds that extra 909 and that 808 to give it that boom bap. Because although hip hop nowadays is a little, it's different styles of hip hop. You have trap, you know, old school, you know, like whatever you want to call it. The producers that I was working with, they all kind of have that boom bap, you know what I'm saying, with that gritty, the kick is always out front.
Right.
That's a part of my sound, so I'm glad that Henry made a product that can be acoustically used. And you can not only use it for your bass drum, you can use it for your tom, even a bass cabinet.
Yeah, sure.
So it's versatile. Like I remember I did a shoot a couple years ago and he has I think it's a Mid Freak. It's the smaller one, and I use it for the tom. So it's really cool to add that extra without having to really dig into the kit.
Right.
The bass drum. Even if you feather with your foot, you're still gonna get that nice extra low end frequency. So yeah, it's an amazing product. I'm excited, and plus I like that it's small and compact. It's not bulky. You can put that thing in your backpack.
Well, Daru, thanks so much for coming back to Sweetwater. It's always a pleasure to have you here, man.
I'm grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
The Low Freak sub mic from Solomon. It's a great product. Definitely check it out. Contact your Sweetwater sales engineer and check out that mic. The new Jack White stuff coming down the pike. There's a tour coming, so best of luck to everything you're doing, Daru. It's a really pleasure to hear what you do to my little piece of music as well. It's cool.
I appreciate it. I love it. I want to hear more. I may have to get you to produce some tracks for your mans. You know what I'm saying?
I'm there. All right. Can we finish out this video with a little playing again?
Okay.
Me and you?
Okay, I'm with it.
Let's do it.
You can start it this time.
I'm starting it this time. Okay. Here we go.
Nice.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome.